Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to my channel here. My name's Austin Sims. I'm a computer guy for a living, cringy debate bro for fun, and one of the subjects I debate the most is science, philosophy, religion. Uh, Politics, so those are some of my favorite subjects to debate. And there's a lot of other YouTubers that do similar. And one of my favorites is a guy named Planet Peterson, Eric Peterson. He runs a YouTube channel called Planet Peterson, and he's very kind of open to the public. He does monthly Ask Me Anything live submissions where anybody can stop in and chat or comment. And he takes debates with all kinds of people. And as a result, some of his debates are kind of funny because they're with, really silly, ridiculous people. And this happens to be one of those, an example of that. And I found this interaction between Eric, the guy who runs Planet Peterson, and the pre-sup troll that he was dealing with so simultaneously hilarious and infuriating at the same time that I had to make a live react to it because it worried me that some people might not realize exactly what is going on here, because I scrolled through the comments on the original video and I did indeed see a couple be making comments like, both of you did really badly, you didn't defeat his side at all, which is hilarious. I think it had to have been made by the pre-sup that comment had to have been made by the pre-sup he's debating in the video. So let's go ahead and get started, and I think you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start sharing my screen here, and here we go.
You believe in evolution, right? Like the Darwinian evolution, or like what's your theory?
Essentially that.
So already not off to a great start. My guy is talking about Darwinian evolution, which is it's a bad sign that the guy who's making that statement is probably a creationist, because most people wouldn't call it Darwinian evolution. They would just call it evolution. Darwinian evolution hasn't really been the right name for it for a long time. Nowadays, we don't use Darwinian evolution anymore. We go by what's called the modern synthesis, which was the fusion of Darwinian evolution, which is gradualistic evolution that takes a really, 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 really ridiculously long time, with Gould's punctuated equilibrium, which is evolution that only takes a really, really, really ridiculously long time, instead of a really, really ridiculously, absurdly, extremely, outrageously long time like Darwinian evolution does. But I mean, they're both still evolution. Whether it happens relatively more quickly or relatively more slowly doesn't really make a difference. They're called evolution. Someone throwing Darwinian in there should give you pause, because that's something creationists do a lot, because they like to make a misconflation that believing in evolutionary science is the same thing as a religion. And so in that worldview, Darwin is our prophet. We worship Darwin, which is, most biologists would tell you that is not true. So, but that just, I'm going to try not to pause every 6 seconds and insert my own views, but that'll probably be hard, because the guy Peterson is talking to here is wrong a lot. But resuming.
Okay. So how does that make knowledge possible?
Oh, man. I'm immediately going to break the rule I just set. He's talking about how does evolution make knowledge possible. This is also okay. So we can be 100% sure at this point that this guy is a creationist. This is classic creationist talking points. So this is something that, and it probably ties into the fact that he wants to call it Darwinian evolution as well. This is something that Darwin himself wrestled with a lot. He in his writings, he talked about how one of the things that gave him issues with evolution was that if he accepted that it was true, then that meant that, he was just an ape. So how could he trust his ape brain to figure out that evolution is true? Well, obviously, we don't have to rely on our ape brains. We have evidence, we have tests, we have studies that generate reproducible results, we have data. We don't have to just rely on our ape brains anymore. We can look at the fossils in the geological column that always adhere to the law of faunal succession. We can look at genetics. It doesn't require just the rationalization, the cognition, and logic of an ape brain anymore. There's plenty of evidence to make up the gap. So how does evolution allow for knowledge? It's a foolish point. It doesn't make much sense, really. It's a tautology. It's a canard, which is most of what creationists use in argument. But I'll let him continue.
Said that it makes knowledge possible.
It makes it impossible.
Who said that?
Because if everything's just a result of evolution, then the knowledge you have isn't due to your free will. It's just due to chemicals in your brain.
How do you freely choose to believe
Determinism.
the truth?
How do you freely choose?
Yeah.
I believe in free will.
Okay, tell me something that you believe is true.
That the sun is in the sky right now. The sun rose this morning.
All right, go ahead and don't believe that.
All right, and you know what? Eric, I love it because he was totally on top of it. Like, this argument comes completely out of left field. It's really bizarre argument, and Eric isn't shook by it at all. He immediately thinks it out and asks a really, really good question. And watch how his opponent reacts to it, how his opponent deals with it, because it's really funny.
I don't want to.
I don't want to.
Do it anyways. I don't want to. What the fuck is this fucking second grader argument? Did you do it? Did you not believe it?
No, I just told you I didn't want to. I have free will, remember?
Yeah. So go ahead and choose to not believe that the sun is in the sky.
Yeah, I just told you I don't want to. I have free will.
I'm sorry. Every time he says, I don't want to, it just sends me into fits of laughter because what a ridiculous response. I don't want to. Oh my God. Okay, so here's why I think that is absolutely hilarious, because Eric has a point that is really destroying this guy's, the case he's trying to make. And of course the guy realizes it. Of course, intellectually he realizes, oh yeah, no, Eric is right here. Belief is not really always a choice. It generally isn't a choice, especially when it comes to things that are like supported by large amounts of empirical evidence. Okay, so you can't just you can't just choose to not believe that there's a sun in the sky. Like, I guess you could, but that would be what we call delusion, right? So Eric is picking out a great point to start unraveling this guy's argument, which is objective truth. The sun is up there in the sky. No matter who you are, no matter how you interpret those facts, it's unquestionable that there is a blazing ball of light in the sky called the sun, So yeah, and of course the Philbro guy doesn't want to follow this argument to its logical conclusion about how belief or knowledge is often not a choice. If you know something, you can't choose not to acknowledge the truth of what you know. A really great argument. And then if the Philosophy Debate Bro had some kind of better rebuttal than just, I don't want to, this could have been a really interesting conversation if the Debate Bro had actually thought about it and been like, yeah, you're right. I can't just choose to believe that the sun is in the sky. This conversation would have moved somewhere interesting, possibly. But I mean, of course, he's a pre-sup guy, so he's like, I don't want to. I don't want to. Just like Eric said, like Eric was really nice calling that a second grade response. I call that a 2-year-old response. He's a toddler. This is a child trapped in a man's body, which would be okay, right? But then don't enter into a debate if the best you've got is, I don't want to, when your opponent gives you a good argument about why you're wrong. So, let's continue.
Yeah. Okay. So instead of this is the calmest tantrum I've ever seen. So congratulations on having your argument obliterated right in front of you. Now you failed to acknowledge it, but your tantrum revealed that that you have a completely inescapable problem here, yes, which is you don't choose what you believe in. So what do you want to talk about next?
Yeah, you do choose what you believe.
Then go ahead and choose to not believe that the sun is in the sky.
I don't want to.
You're incapable you're incapable of wanting to do it, apparently.
No, because in my
go ahead and do it then. We're going to wait until you don't believe that the sun is in the sky.
Calm down. I believe that it's better to believe in truth. So since
Okay, and this is part of why I find the video both extremely hilarious and extremely infuriating at the same time. This philosophy bro, cringy debate bro guy is going, I don't want you, I don't want you, I don't want you, I don't want you. And then, Peterson presses him about how you don't want to because this argument is breaking your case down. And his response to Eric is, calm down, calm down. Calm down, which has never made anyone calm in the history of forever. Nobody has ever had their level of calmness increased by being told to calm down. It never worked. This guy is telling Eric to calm down for the exact opposite reason. He wants Eric to get frustrated. He wants Eric to get upset and get angry, as any person would, being gaslit and being lied to, like this guy is trying to gaslight and lie to Eric. And he's trying to do a little thing called the Darvo tactics. Deny, accuse, reverse victim and offender. Right now, he's the one throwing a tantrum. He's the one, I don't want you, I don't want you, I don't want you. But by telling Eric, calm down, he's projecting his feelings onto Eric. And just in general, being a massive freaking twat. Fuck this guy. Let's continue.
I know that the sun rose today. I'm not going to believe otherwise because
that's great. Go ahead and believe that the sun isn't in the sky. Then I will have one reason to believe what you're saying.
No, you just can't.
So you can't give me one reason to believe what you're saying. Congratulations.
You out of this dumb argument.
Yeah, I can't fucking stand this guy. I hate this. You're melting. That's obnoxious fucking nervous hyena jackal laugh is doing so much lifting for him in this argument. His tactic is basically to depict Eric like he's the one who's being silly by not immediately accepting the pre-sups argument, which is, by the way, completely fucking absurd. Yeah, let me know if by the end of this video, you also want to put your fist through your fucking laptop screen every time this guy does that obnoxious little fucking middle schooler making fun of a kid in the cafeteria laugh, because I wanted to fucking strangle him by the end of this video. All right, let's resume.
I don't want to believe the sun didn't rise.
I don't want to.
I don't want to.
It's not that it's not. Hey, you can't fire me. I quit. That's you right now.
I don't want
That's a category error. So anyway, so again,
You're a
Are you gonna
category
get an
error.
argument, or are you gonna spurg out? What's going on right now?
You don't have an argument.
What are you talking about? I don't have an argument. I didn't even present.
I presented a defeater for your argument, and you said, "I don't want to."
You didn't present.
Yes, I
any
did.
defeater. So again,
Go ahead and decide to believe.
What's your
to not
theory of
believe
knowledge?
something that you believe in.
What's your theory of knowledge?
My theory of knowledge is dumbasses like you don't know what you're talking about. And I can back it up by dumbasses like you running away like a little bitch from the challenges to your to your worldviews.
There's that fucking laugh again. God, I want to slap the fucking shit out of this guy. Yeah, no. So what we're seeing here is Eric smells blood in the water. He sees that this guy is going to ignore this argument that's crushing his position. So he's going to drive it. He's going to push the argument forward a little bit. So how does philosophy bro, how does cringy, I don't want to philosophy bro respond to it? He just throws out a red herring. That's going to be his next thing that he's going to do over and over again that makes this both infuriating and hilarious. He's just going to ask some other question, some other thing. He's going to try to pivot the conversation. He's going to try to get Eric talking about something else instead of realizing that the fucking troll didn't answer his question. So his question, his attempted a red herring this time. What's your theory of knowledge? It's not relevant to the question that Eric actually asked, of course, which, I've already forgotten what the question was because the guy jumps around so much. And that's precisely why he does this, is to confuse and bamboozle both his opponent and the people watching who are like, wait, what the fuck? We were just talking about something else completely. Why are we now talking about a theory of knowledge? It's all distraction and deception. This guy's trying to come across like he's a brilliant philosopher when his philosophy is so stupid. Eric beat it with his first question. And of course, the Philbro realized that, but didn't want to accept it, wanted to keep arguing. So he just ignored it. And now he's going to try and red herring and do whatever he can to move the conversation to some other subject instead of being forced to keep demonstrating how ridiculous his position is by struggling or outright failing to answer the question. Can you sincerely force yourself to believe that the sun isn't in the sky? Which obviously the answer is no. You could delusionally, but you couldn't sincerely do it. No, obviously. Anyways, continuing, because there's still quite a bit to the video, and I said I wasn't going to pause it every 6 seconds, but I keep doing it because this guy is just so dumb.
Go ahead and believe. Go ahead and stop believing in something that you believe in.
Why are you so mad?
Why are you laughing nervously? It's just a question, bro.
Right,
it's just a question. It can't hurt you.
Oh, it's
okay.
hurting.
So what's your theory of knowledge?
My theory of knowledge is dumbasses like you don't know what you're talking about, and I can back it up by you running away from every single challenge to your
exact same answer. He gave the red herring the first time.
It's called ding dong.
It's called ding dong.
Yeah, my theory of knowledge is called ding dong.
Okay, what does ding dong entail?
It's a theory of knowledge.
I know. I said, what does it entail, not what it is. What does it entail?
It entails a methodology used for arriving at true statements.
What's the method?
You just let the truth be revealed to you there.
What's the method?
You allow the truth to be revealed to you because you can't choose to believe in things that aren't true. There.
Oh man, the pre-sup philosophy bro guy, he for sure got abused by his parents, because if I were his parents, I would abuse him. So if you have kids, or if you know kids or familiar with kids at all, you know that one of kids' favorite game to play before, when they're, like 10 years and younger, is when they get a little bit older than that, it gets a little childish to them. It's not as fun anymore. But one of kids' favorite games to play is why. They ask you a question, you give them an answer, and then they just go, why? And then you answer that why, and then they ask again, why? And they just keep asking. And it's because knowledge is either essentially at its core very cyclical. We know the sun rises because we know the sun rises, or knowledge is often an infinite regression. We know the sun rises because we can see the sun. We can see the sun because our eyes can discern photoreceptors. We can discern photoreceptors because we have lens and nerves. We have lenses and nerves because we have cellular biology. We have you can literally go until the beginning of the universe, answering any question if you allow it to become that infinite regression, which seems to be the philosophy bros strategy to debate here. Why? The philosophy bro is basically going to expect Eric to be pretty much fucking omniscient in order for his, case to be considered valid. Meanwhile, the philosophy bro doesn't have to know fucking anything. He doesn't have to answer any questions. He doesn't have to respond to any argument. His response is, I don't want to. And that's good enough. As far what a slanted standard, right? He's got such a high level of skepticism for anything anyone else has to say. But anything he wants to say, because I say it, is good enough, basically.
Okay, so you don't believe you can choose to believe things that aren't true, right?
No, actually, that's not how it works. You can't choose what you believe in, but the truth reveals itself to you. There.
Okay, how?
Don't know?
No. Why?
So then you don't have a theory of knowledge if you don't know.
Okay, then what's your theory of knowledge?
Oh,
you don't have one. Okay.
Hello, can I talk? Stop milking.
Barely.
Bro. I understand you don't talk to people who know epistemology, but just relax. So,
fuck this guy. He does not know epistemology. Wow, the fucking arrogance, the ego on this absolute pile of shit. You don't talk to a lot of people who know epistemology. Calm down. Oh my God, this guy is fucking insufferable. I guarantee this person has almost zero friends in real life. What a fucking cunt.
Bell it.
I believe in kind of a coherentist view of epistemology.
Yeah, I didn't ask what it's called. I asked you to tell me how it works.
Yeah, so how it works is my belief system is justified in my system as a whole. So like my belief in God is justified by the rest of my beliefs. But my starting point for how I discern truth would be from God. That would be my starting point.
Why? How? Why? See, we could do the same thing to your argument, dude. and also completely wrong about your starting point. Your starting point is a rejection of solipsism. You don't start with God existing. You start with the assumption that you actually exist. Oh, look at that. Wow. You know what? Why? Why do you assume that? Why? How? Why? See? It's a terrible fucking argument. Your approach is idiotic. It's solipsistic. It's self-devouring. But of course, this guy doesn't realize it, even though Eric destroyed it and made it completely clear with the first comment he made in response to this stupid pre-sub fucking. It drives me crazy.
Okay. So the sun rose, and you believe the sun is in the sky. We already went over that. And we went over how you are incapable of not believing it, so you don't freely choose to believe in anything. So how did you come to believe that the sun is in the sky?
What does free will mean?
Okay. So that red herring, I love how the image I've frozen Eric's face in here. Sorry, Eric, a little unflattering. But that red herring was so fucking obvious. I'm sure that if you showed this video to a 6-year-old, they would be like, but mommy, he didn't answer the question. Eric asked him a question, and then the guy, instead of answering the question, he asked him a completely irrelevant question. Why he do that, Mama? What is he maybe a little bit dishonest? Maybe.
Did you come to believe that the sun is in the sky?
What does free will mean to you?
That is a perfect breakdown of the red herring happening there. Eric asks, how did you come to believe the sun was in the sky? And for instance, here's what it would look like to actually answer that question. I observed it, Eric. I used logic to determine that it was real. So something that actually answers the question. What is his response? What is your theory of free will? Like, that is not answering the question. Obviously, a child would realize what you're trying to do there, guy.
Because you obviously
can I get somebody with a double-digit IQ to come up next, please? I am desperately begging for double-digit IQ people to queue up. How did you come to believe that the sun is in the sky?
So I came to believe it through sense data.
Okay, so you're an empiricist?
Yes. And this is why he tries to dance around and avoid answering the question at first. Because, Eric smashes him right there. He's got him. Yes, you used sense data to discover that. So you're an empiricist. Beautiful. If I had been Eric, I would have just kicked him out of the channel right then. He's way nicer than me, being way nicer to this guy than I would have been. Because it's so obvious he has nothing by now. Eric is just being nice to continue interacting with him. But clearly this guy is a dishonest interlocutor and does not deserve that graciousness from Eric. Wonderful behavior, Eric. Eric, I'm very proud of you. You did very well in this. Let's continue.
No, an empiricist means that all knowledge is only derived from sense data. I don't believe that.
Okay, so far all you've told me about you believing that the sun is in the sky is sense data. So what nonsense data did you use to come to that?
And then listen to this fuckhead constantly talking while Eric is actually making points. It's so clear that this douchebag is not fucking listening to anybody but himself. He just likes listening to himself talk. He might as well just, stand in front of a mirror and debate himself because he's not fucking listening to anything. Now he starts just talking over Eric a lot. And Eric ends up having to repeat himself a lot.
For example, through sense data, you can't prove to me logic, can you?
So the question was, what other methods other than sense data did you use to claim to believe that the sun is in the sky?
Can you answer questions or no?
You're being cross-examined.
The fucking hypocrisy of this guy is mind-blowing. It literally stuns me silent when every single question Eric has asked him, he's had to ask it repeatedly because the guy tries to red herring every question he's asked. And then the first time he asks Eric a question that Eric, instead of first of all, the question that he asked was asked to avoid answering the question Eric asked. So Eric just repeats the question. And then this fucking hypocritical asshole, this absolute douche nozzle, this giant fucking whipped cream covered, sprinkled and cherry topped twat waffle has the audacity to say, "Do you ever answer questions?" Oh my fucking God. Fuck this guy.
So I don't know what makes you think this is going to go some other way.
Evolution, but you started melting over the sun. So now
we started off talking about evolution, but you're melting down over the sun. No, bro, you're melting down because your pre-sup argument got imploded with one question. And now I'll give it to him. He's pretty much successfully derailed the conversation. He has gotten the viewers and Eric to forget how things are what has actually been going on over the course of this conversation, which is exactly why he uses this strategy.
Stuck because you can't actually give a critique to my worldview.
So you did
What
absolutely
is your worldview? What fucking worldview? You've said almost nothing about it. Instead, you've just asked Eric to prove every single fucking thing about reality instead of saying shit about why you think what you think. You've dodged every question about what you think. Fuck you, dude.
Nothing you have done at all had anything to do with evolution.
Yep.
So don't act like you are
Yeah,
an
because we
honest
haven't gotten
actor.
there yet.
Yep.
If you were just listening to what I just said, I just told you
If you were just listening, you're just too stupid. You're just too inattentive, bro. Your problem is just that you're like not as smart and attentive as me. I know philosophy and I know epistemology, and you suck at Fuck this guy. I guarantee he doesn't know dick about philosophy. I doubt he's taken even a single philosophy course ever once in his entire fucking life. Everything he knows about philosophy, he's gotten from Christian apologists. And the worst kind of Christian apologist, the absolute bottom of the barrel for Christian apologists and communicators who advocate for the Christian religion. This guy has no experience whatsoever with philosophy because philosophy completely destroys presup. It destroys presup with empiricism and existentialism and even with solipsism. Solipsism is a sharp refutation of this shit because you can't ever actually prove solipsism. This guy's argument is extremely solipsistic.
couldn't get there because you're melting over the sun thing. Did you hear me?
And I would like to mention that he's projecting so much he might as well open a drive-in movie theater. He is projecting majorly. You're melting down over the sun. No, bro, you are melting down because your pre-sup shit couldn't handle a single simple fucking absolute softball question. Pathetic. You should be ashamed of yourself that you dare to call yourself a philosophy debate bro. Pathetic.
So the question is, what other kinds of methods did you use to conclude that the sun is in the sky other than sense data?
You can things like, I don't know, language. You can use language because I mean, sun. The word sun has a meaning, right? It picks out an object. So like,
if you didn't have a word for sun, if you didn't even have the ability to speak, you could still look up and detect that sun being up there. So you could know it.
Yeah, but that's.
I love how well prepared Eric is to just actually engage this guy's points, but at the same time, he's lost the plot. This guy, his tactic has overall it's worked because he's not trying to actually make a good pre-sup argument. He's just trying to confuse and muddy and make everything as murky as possible. He's not trying to actually convince you, Eric. He's trying to manipulate the debate to try and get some, misleading clips that he can cut and edit and take back to his flock and say, oh, look, I embarrassed this guy. When, the full context shows that he got absolutely bodied.
Still a first order knowledge claim. So we're talking about second order.
Okay, I actually looked this up. And I will go ahead and do it again so I can give you the perfect answer. What is first order? What is first and second order knowledge? In the context of philosophy, particularly in the theory of knowledge, first order knowledge refers to basic knowledge about the world, stating facts or claims about how things are, while second order knowledge refers to knowledge about knowledge itself, analyzing the nature and reliability of our knowledge claims about the world. Essentially, it's thinking about knowledge. First order knowledge direct statements about the world, like water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, focuses on facts and observations within a specific field of study. Second order knowledge, questions about the nature of knowledge itself, like how do we know that scientific evidence is reliable? More reflective and analytical, examining the methods and criteria used to establish knowledge. So when he says that they're making a first order knowledge comment, yeah, kind of. I mean, yes, it is first order knowledge in philosophy that the sun rises. But asking how we know that the sun rises, yeah, that's the second order question. It has nothing to do with the validity of his approach, though. You're just throwing a tantrum at this point. This is the classic thing of if the facts are on your side, pound the facts. If the law is on your side, pound the law. If neither the facts nor the law are on your side, pound the table. And this guy's pounding the table. He's saying, no, first order, second order, or whatever order it has to be so that I don't have to actually answer or understand anything what I'm talking. You're talking about first order knowledge and blah, blah, blah. He's making a gamble that Eric doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about when he says first and second order, which is a pretty safe gamble because, yeah, Eric probably hasn't been poring over a lot of epistemology textbooks lately, probably because there aren't really any, because epistemology isn't really a real field. It's just a kind of philosophy that is basically thinking about thinking, like it says, second order. And he's going to use this a couple of times. Eric's not knowing exactly what he's talking about with first order and second order. And Eric didn't even bother to look it up, which was probably, totally fine. I don't think Eric actually had to look this up to know what what the debate bro was actually invoking, because yeah, it's bullshit.
I'm still waiting.
Do you know what second order knowledge is?
Nope. Still waiting for you to give me any.
So if you don't know what second order knowledge is, how are we going to have this discussion?
Oh, this guy sucks. If you don't know literally everything, that means I win. You didn't know what this specific thing I brought up was, so then you don't know enough to know that I'm wrong. What a load of bullshit. I guarantee Eric could ask this guy 5 million questions and he wouldn't know. I guarantee Eric could come up with way more questions that the guy debating him couldn't answer than the guy debating him could come up with questions that Eric couldn't answer. Because Eric strikes me as somebody who actually has a pretty wide base of knowledge. The philosophy bro that he's debating, it seems to me like he's very sheltered and has very little knowledge outside of what Christian apologetics has taught him is the right way to defend his religion. Ugh, it's sad.
By you simply telling me how you know that the sun is in the sky.
Yeah, but that's still a first order claim. So I just told you, I just gave you first order, but now we're trying to get to second order.
I too say words to try to sound more photosynthesis every now and then.
Eric called out exactly what he's doing without even knowing the meaning of these terms. Like I just looked him up. Yeah, he's just throwing out, really esoteric, obscure thing you didn't know about. So, haha, I gotcha. And Eric, yeah, he points out exactly what he's doing. He's trying to sound smart by invoking this esoteric knowledge that most people wouldn't know enough to call him out on how he's badly mangling and misusing it, and to make himself sound more intelligent and like his opponent isn't as intelligent as he is, and therefore his debate is invalid. It's a classic ad hominem argument. And Eric used a very funny approach to discredit it, which was, the classic joke about how sometimes I use scientific sounding words to make myself sound more intelligent. Photosynthesis, the guy doesn't have any idea what photosynthesis is. He doesn't seem to know how first and second order ideas in epistemology actually relate to the debate. He doesn't need to know. He's just using it as a cudgel to beat Eric with and to try and make Eric look stupid. It's really dishonest. And we haven't even reached the bottom of the barrel yet. We're only halfway through, and things are going to get a lot worse.
Just because you don't know what it means doesn't mean that's my objective. So nice try.
I like how you're doing anything other than engaging with the cross-examination.
Yeah.
Just like you refused to even make an attempt to not believe that the sun is in the sky. You threw a tantrum and said, I don't feel like it.
So how are we not engaging if you don't even know what these things are? How can you engage with how can you engage in surgery if you've never studied it? How do you do that? So how am I supposed to engage with you if you don't even know what the words I'm saying mean?
I have done things like make very minor mechanical like adjustments and repairs on bicycles, cars, random objects in my house without having any fucking idea what the tools are called. Okay, that's how. It's actually not all that difficult. What you're doing is just jerking yourself off by playing these esoteric word games and pretending like you're winning the argument by when you can't justify something, you ask somebody, do you know what this term means?
For justification?
God love Eric. What a valiant effort from this guy. I mean, he is being so generous to this guy, even as he's tearing his argument apart with incredible ease and efficiency. I mean, he could just point out, you're being a dick, you're being an idiot, you're playing some kind of word game, fuck off my channel, conversation over. Eric is really intelligent. Eric is very clever. He instantly is like, no, I fix stuff without having to know what the tools are. Every obscene, bizarre, completely irrelevant, out of left field thing that this guy brings up, Eric is like so on top of it. I'm so impressed. I mean, he made it look easy, and it's not easy debating somebody who's this dishonest and this kind of wriggly and weaselly and slimy. It's not easy at all. And Eric makes it look like a fucking cakewalk. Mwah. Chef's kiss. What a masterpiece, Eric. Take a bow. Let's continue.
Do you know what esoteric means?
What's your criteria?
You don't.
Another question the guy is immediately going to ignore and not answer. And I bet it's because Eric's right, because he doesn't even fucking know what esoteric means before he tries to say that his obscure ass fucking point isn't esoteric. That's why he doesn't answer. I think it's on two different levels. One, he doesn't really know the definition of esoteric well enough to answer, but even though he doesn't, he knows Eric is probably fucking right and that his shit is esoteric. It's so funny, man. It's funny and it's so aggravating at the same time. Like, I hope you're beginning to see what I'm talking about when I said that this video is one of the most simultaneously hilarious and fucking stroke causing levels of aggravating. Like, I have blood vessels busting in the back of my eyes listening to this fucking guy talk. Holy shit. Let's continue.
Don't know what esoteric means. So when you laughed earlier to be like, hardy, hard, that's not what's going on. That clearly, so.
And listen to him talking. Now he's really getting upset because he can tell Eric's beating him. So he's gonna start talking through almost everything Eric says.
What's your criteria for justification?
No, the question is, what other methods did you use to determine that the sun is in the sky?
Yep, right back to red herrings, to a completely different red herring this time. This guy is so desperate to get the conversation off the rails so he can stop getting his ass kicked. It's so funny. And Eric is finally getting, he's catching on to the guy, because it's easy when somebody's saying stupid things to think they're being sincere and to want to correct them and to lose the plot of the wider manipulation that's happening. And I think Eric is finally starting to realize, oh, this guy isn't going to fucking learn. He's not going to listen to my actual arguments. He's here to preach.
I just told you sense data. There's no other.
So you're an empiricist. There's no other method. You're a pure empiricist. Thank you.
Something that's physical, you come to knowledge of the physical thing through sense data. That's not
you're
the
an
only
empiricist.
way to obtain knowledge, because there's also things that are immaterial. So how
what?
do you, through sense data, I just told you logic.
Logic is immaterial?
You believe logic is material?
I think logic is a concept. It's not real.
Okay, so then it's not material.
Yeah, but it's also not real. So it's
It
not
doesn't
made
matter.
of anything.
Okay, so if it's not real, right? Is it objective or subjective?
Logic?
Yeah.
It appears to be objective because it's grounded in an actual reality and existence that we have. And we've come up with co-referential. Yeah, I'm literally still talking. We've come up with co-referential methods for being able to validate truth claims.
Yeah, but how do you validate something if it's not real? Then it's just arbitrary. You don't realize that?
Yeah, it's a tool used to do so. Words are arbitrary. The words you and I are speaking, yes, they are.
Words are objective. They pick out something.
Okay, now this is the part that I'm really wanting to talk about. It's going to become clearer as we go on, but he just said words are objective. Now, if you have half a fucking brain cell in your head, you probably already realize absolutely fucking not. No, words are not subjective or objective. If you want proof of that, pick up a fucking Dr. Seuss book. I'm pretty sure you'll find about 5 million words that aren't fucking objective. But again, this is all big red herring. It's all distraction. And unfortunately, this is a very juicy distraction. Precisely because it's so fucking stupid. And of course, Eric jumps on it, and it only continues to get worse for the philosophy bro from here.
Do you know that there are different languages out there? Did you know that? Did you know that there are different languages out there?
Okay, so
we could have selected different words for every single part of our vocabulary. So thank you for proving my point.
Spanish and English, right? Let's talk about it. You said there's different languages, which has nothing to do with anything. So there's different languages. In Spanish and English, are there words that pick out the same object in both languages or no?
Yeah, so it's grounded in the object, grounded in a material reality.
I just said language is objective. So what did you just prove by telling me there were different languages?
I don't remember specifically what you said that was the error at this point.
Then you don't even know. You don't even know what's going on.
I don't remember the specific thing because you're jumping all over the place.
Yep. Yes, Eric. He's doing that because that's his goal. He's doing it because he wants you to not remember, to be confused because you've jumped from 19 different fucking topics so far. What exactly the reason for being on the latest topic was. And the reason is, of course, because he threw out a fucking red herring like he has this whole time. And for the debate, bro, it's like fucking Christmas morning. Eric doesn't remember. Eric doesn't know. Eric's lost. Ha ha ha. That's probably the exact clip that he'll snip out and share with other people.
I'm literally not jumping. I'm stuck on the language part.
You have had to run away multiple times. I can't not believe the sun is in the sky. Run away. I can't give you a non...
Listen to him. He's like a fucking child. He's like a 3-year-old. We're still on language. He's not even hearing Eric's words. Eric is pointing out all the things he's run away from, all the things that show major glaring problems with his case, and he's not interested at all if there's any problems with his case. He wants his case to be right, so he doesn't care if there's issues. He assumes there's not, and there's no way to force him to abandon that assumption.
Material reason to believe the sun is in the sky, run away.
Different languages, and aren't we still talking about language? So how am I running, and what am I running from if we're still talking about language?
Everything.
How am I running? What am I running from? How, mama? Why, mama? Hey, Dave, how's it going? Just reacting to a really hilarious and really infuriating video here. I don't know if you've seen this one, but it's really funny, and also it makes me want to put my head through the wall. What was he saying? Oh yeah. How am I running? What am I running from? he literally just pointed out all of the things you ran from. You ran from the sun is in the sky. How do we know it? You ran from, he just made the list of all the and of course this guy's got the memory of a fucking gnat. So immediately he's like, explain it to me again. This is his whole strategy, is just, teach me the entire world. Fill my brain with all the knowledge that you have and do it in like a couple of words. Do it in like 3 sentences, do it in the format of a debate, a YouTube debate. Like, this guy is so dishonest. It's slimy. I hate it.
Everything. What does
Yes.
everything even mean as an atheist? Because words don't have meaning in your worldview. You know that, right? Since everything's just accidental.
He's all
They don't
over
have
the
inherent meaning.
Inherent meaning. What does that even mean?
Okay, I'm going to invent a word right now. Ready?
Yeah.
Do you accept that people are allowed to invent words?
Sure. They still would be objective, even if you made
Skibbity
up a
bibbity
new word.
hibbity boo. What is that objectively?
Skibbity hibbity bibbity boop. Objective. That is an objective word right there. It objectively describes the skibbity hibbity bibbity boop. Yep. He got him. He got him so easily. A freaking toddler could have destroyed this argument of words are objective. So, as a cringy debate bro, it reminds me of a debate I did in high school once, where the resolution was, is global warming real or a hoax? And it wasn't a debate I did, actually. It was a class. One of the other teams, they were doing the debate. And one of my friends actually was on the global warming is real side. And she had absolutely destroyed the global warming was a hoax sign. She was very well researched, very well prepared, countered every one of their arguments. So what they started doing was they just started going through the words in the resolution. In the dictionary, what does global mean? Global means of or pertaining to a sphere or a globe. Because the opponent's case did not mention globes, their case is therefore invalid. They even went through the word or. And they said, because the opponent's case does not include anything about iron or metal ores in the earth, it is therefore invalid. That's basically what this guy is doing. He's using semantics. He's using a really weird and bizarre definition for a word that doesn't actually apply to the conversation they're having. He's using a homophone and attacking the meaning of the homophone instead of engaging with the actual word that Eric is using here, which is objective. The word objective. Let's see here. Let's get a definition for objective. Objective. Of a person or their judgment, not influenced by personal feelings or opinions in considering and representing facts, relating to or denoting a case of nouns and pronouns used as the object of a transitive verb or a preposition. So Eric is talking about definition 1, and the philosophy bro pig-headed douchebag is talking about a completely different definition of the word. And he knows that's not the word we're fucking talking about. If he doesn't know that's not the word we're fucking talking about, then he might have literal fucking brain damage. Like, how do you not know that we're not talking about the other usage of this word? But he's going to double down on it, and Eric is going to continue to embarrass him until he rage quits. This is basically the progression of the rest of the video. So I might just let the rest of it play out because we've already been talking about this 12-minute video for like an hour or so. So let's let it go a little bit further.
You tell me you just invented it.
That's what I thought. So
That's
what do you want to
thought?
talk about next?
You don't need, are you even tracking it?
I love that Eric has gotten wise to it. He's not trying hard anymore. He's realized this guy is a joke. Just that's what I thought. That's all that it takes. You don't have to point. Most of the people in the audience have more than enough brain cells to put together that, yeah, you just destroyed his argument.
At this point,
It's kind of hard with you because you are very stream of consciousness
you can't get
in the
through
way
this.
you speak.
You can't get through this. It's okay. I'll hold your hand through this. So you just said you invented a word, and you said, what does that mean? You just said you invented it.
Yeah,
So
you said
supposed to
words
believe in-
are objectively, like they objectively ground something. So I just made that
No,
up. It
so
doesn't
that's
objectively
not-
ground
that's
anything.
not what I said.
Yeah, okay, so how ironic is it how condescending this fucking guy is? I'll hold your hand through this. When he's making the stupidest fucking argument I've ever heard, is arguing that the word ore means iron when it's clearly not that word that's being used. That's a homophone of the word that's actually being used. It's almost exactly the same fucking thing.
That's not what I said.
So
I
what'd you
said
say?
words are objective because words
Okay,
pick out
skibbity
an
hibbity
object
bibbity boo.
in reality.
Objectively, what is that?
You just said you invented the word. Are you like
Okay, so
Lord?
now I'm going to tell you that it objectively means nothing other than itself, I guess. So there. Now, where have we gotten?
Yeah, that,
I want to get skibbity hibbity bibbity poop just tattooed on the bicep and ring. How great would that be? Eric, give me an exact spelling so I know what to tell the tattoo artist to put down.
that's just incoherent. That doesn't actually tell me anything.
Oh,
Congratulations.
incoherent. Yeah.
Unless you're saying the word literally means nothing. In that case, then it's synonymous with the word nothing. So then you can use both words to pick out nothing. So it's still objective. You don't understand that?
No, I didn't understand anything you said. And it could be a me problem or it could be a
literally
you
just an
problem.
IQ gap
I'm
at
not
this
really
point.
here
So you
to
were talking about
diagnose.
you want
People are going to
you
watch
wanna
and
talk to
make their
people
own
with double
decisions.
IQ. I want to talk to people with triple IQ because obviously, if you have a double digit
Quadruple's
IQ,
too much for you. Okay, I'm
it's
sorry.
either in the
I'll
low
tone it
double
down.
digits, or you're probably in like the 70s or something at this point. So you couldn't even understand what I said when I said words are objective. Objective.
You couldn't even understand he doesn't even understand what he's saying. He doesn't know how to use the word. Oh, that's so rich.
It just means it picks out an object, something in reality.
It's not what
Do you
objective
disagree?
means. Objective means true in all cases.
Basically.
So the word orange, does it pick out an object in reality? Yes or no?
Two of them.
Yeah, so it picks out an object in reality, right?
Yeah, two of them.
Yeah, so then it's objective.
It has two different definitions. That's a little bit.
Do you know what objective means?
Yeah, true in all cases.
No, that's objective versus subjective. We're talking about.
You said
objectivity.
objective. Objective means true in all
you know
cases.
What object is? What is an object?
So this is an etymological fallacy. Objective means object. No, that's not what that means.
What is
Buddy,
object
if you can't
mean?
speak English, then I don't know how we're going to have a conversation.
Object literally just means something material.
We're not talking about objects. We're talking about objective, which means true in all cases.
About objects. Haven't you heard me this whole time? I said they pick out objects in reality.
You said that they're objective.
Because they pick out something in reality.
That's not what objective means.
Oh my God. Do you know words aren't rigid designators?
Sure, why not?
So if you know that, then the word.
Wait, so words don't mean anything? So we actually can't have a conversation. Okay.
I didn't say that. Do you even know what a rigid designator is? It just means it doesn't pick out the same thing in all possible worlds. Words don't have one meaning. That's what that means.
So then they're not objective. Congratulations. You just debunked yourself.
Doesn't mean one thing.
Yes, it does. It means true in all cases. And then you just said words violate that. So congratulations. You're wrong according to you.
No, that's not what it means.
No. You're doing the you can't fire me, I quit thing again.
Like you realize that,
right? Me pointing out the contradiction in your like thought process.
Contradiction. So you just said objective meant one thing. I said no, it doesn't always mean that one thing because it's not a rigid designator.
You said words are objective. You said words are objective. I'm telling you what objective means. And then you said that words can't be like that.
They pick out an object.
That's not what objective means. So
words aren't rigid designators. What don't you understand?
Great. Then they're not objective.
I love how just blunt and flat Eric is being. He's realized he's given this guy way too much freaking effort actually responding and thinking that much about and coming up with examples that the guy is just a fucking moron. He's an idiot. He's playing word games, and Eric has finally caught on, and I love it. He diffused his word games so spectacularly and simply with such ease and aplomb. Mwah, beautiful. I could if I knew absolutely nothing about Planet Peterson, which I'm still fairly new to the channel. I've watched maybe like 5 to 10 of his videos or skimmed, a couple more. I haven't watched a ton of them, but even if I knew absolutely nothing, just based on this, I would know that I would absolutely love this channel. This guy is so patient. Eric, you have the patience of a fucking saint to have spoken to this guy for as long as you did without crushing something. I would have picked up one of those guitars off the wall behind you and smashed my fucking laptop screen with it until you couldn't see anything anymore. Because holy shit, this guy is insufferable. Wow, what a fucking idiot. He's a toddler trapped in a man's body. You dealt with this guy with the patience of an absolute fucking saint. You were like some kind of Tibetan monk, Eric, that you were able to continue talking to this guy for as long as you did without putting your fist through the wall. I applaud you.
Rigid designator and objective aren't synonymous. Are you this low IQ, bro? This is ridiculous.
And he calls Eric.
You don't even know what words. You don't know English. This is retarded.
You don't know the
Believe that
definition
Eric
of
doesn't know
objective.
words
Oh, you rage quitted.
English.
Okay. Objective means true in all cases. So
That's where you
if words can have their meaning changed over time, then they're not objective.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing performance, Eric. It reminds me of an old saying about how it's difficult to defeat an intelligent person in a debate, but it's virtually impossible to beat a stupid person in a debate. And you beat that stupid person in that debate so bad, it almost feels like a hate crime, Eric. It feels like you just went onto the playground and just started beating a brain damaged, middle schooler. Like, I almost feel like it's a double-edged sword because, yeah, you kicked the crap out of him in that debate, but I mean, he's such an asshole and such an idiot. It's like, how do you even feel proud of it? Which, absolutely, Eric, you should feel proud. That was amazing. You destroyed that guy. Well done. And way to produce one of the most hilarious and infuriating videos I've ever seen on YouTube. That was fantastic, Eric. Keep it up. Don't let people like that wear you down. Yeah, that was incredible. So I think that was all I had really planned for the stream. Yeah. So if you enjoyed that, go over to Planet Peterson's account and give him a like and a subscribe and support him because he's awesome. Thanks for stopping by, y'all.